The revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting. This is the value of wrestling. The revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, you know, guess who's back? Back again, doing it another time, come around again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is About Your Wrestling. This is your Smackdown review for January 5th, 2024. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is your Smackdown review. It is Smackdown New Year's Revolution special. And boy, did they bring everything and something with the twist and a special. And we're going to get into it. We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about it all right here. And we're going to discuss it as soon as I get where I need to be set. And we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my one and only co-host, the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man that you're going to see his beautiful face twice today if you were here earlier for the Wrestle Kingdom 18 review show with Mr. Miguel Z. And this man right here, the one, the only,
Paulus Clarke.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Clarke was here earlier with Miguel Z live, breaking down Wrestle Kingdom and doing a great review on that show. And if you haven't seen that after you watch this, go ahead and jump over there. It's on the channel. It's in the live section. Watch all the breakdown of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Learn a little bit. I can talk, I promise, guarantee. Learn a little something about New Japan Pro Wrestling. But for now, for tonight, for this moment, for this second, for the next hour or so, it's all about WWE. It's all about SmackDown. It's all about the road to getting to the Royal Rumble tonight. WWE Smackdown, January 5th, 2024. The New Year's Revolution special. Yes. Welcome in the chat. Mr. Z is here joining us in the chat. We'll see if he can keep the party hot and wild in the chat. Like they had that hot and wild party earlier today. That's a whole different story. Anyways, Mr. Clarke, how do you feel about tonight's SmackDown?
It was a good show.
What is your opening statement?
I mean, it's WWE, it's SmackDown, it's New Year's Revolution. Things have been going along pretty well for the last little while, and we're just continuing onto that road to Royal Rumble, onto that road to WrestleMania.
Exactly. We are marching in the right direction, and we are doing what it does. And, we got a really, really good show. It hit all the points. It's definitely got you interested, invested, and set up things for Royal Rumble, which is a couple weeks away. And we're not doing it on the very last week of wrestling prior to the show like other people do, where they just go, oh, let me throw all these matches at it. And then you watch the pay-per-view and you're like, why do I care when you don't care? But anyways, WWE is setting the tone, setting the pace. We're getting ready. I can hear the engines revving, the cars warming up. We're going to hit the Rumble, and then we're going to be directly on that road to Philadelphia with a stop in Perth, Australia first. But then we're going to be on that hot road to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for WrestleMania 40, the Big XL. Oh, yeah. Card was stacked. The card was definitely stacked for tonight's show, but WWE starting 2024 hot and ready. The new announce team was here tonight with Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. This is the official announce team for SmackDown. As, again, for whatever reason we still haven't understood, the one and only Michael Cole is officially and solely a product of Monday Night Raw. We open the show with a flashback to The Rock showing up on Monday Night Raw at Day 1 edition. And he talks about, well, San Diego, I think I'm going to go eat after this. Should I sit in a booth? Should I sit at a bar? Or should I sit at the head of the table? Reference. So then we turn and we come live to SmackDown, and here comes a black SUV. You know who's showing up in black SUVs. Out steps one, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the man in God mode, the undisputed WWE Super Universal blah 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 3 title belt, 4 title belts. I don't know how many belts this man has anymore. Champion. And what's her name was there, and I'm totally forgetting them. Why my name is Kayla. Kayla's there, and she asks Roman about The Rock, and Roman just kind of laughs and walks off, and then we get a brief moment between her and Paul Heyman where they basically didn't say anything, but you got a kick out of it because their interactions is awesome. Anyways, we get right into some great wrestling as the U.S. title tournament is coming to completion. It's the finals match. It's Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. The winner of this match is going to get Logan Paul for that U.S. title at the Royal Rumble. And, of course, Santos Escobar isn't alone. Well, at least briefly. He comes out with Angel and Humberto. They didn't announce him as Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. It was just Angel and Humberto. So I don't know if they their last names. We will have to wait and see. Anyways, before the match even gets going, Logan Paul comes out to join at ringside to sit and watch this match. And so we get Logan Paul's music hits. He comes down, he sits down, and he's getting ready to watch this match. Then, out of nowhere, out of the crowd, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro jump through the crowd over the guardrail and start beating Angel and Humberto Carrillo to the back. This briefly distracts Santos Escobar as he turns around after watching his boy leaves in a panic and in a moment of fear, like he didn't know what he was going to do without his boys at ringside, which was a great little moment if you paid close enough attention to the details. As he turned around, Kevin Owens nailed him with a super kick, then a cannonball. Owens went up for the frog splash for only a 2 count. I almost thought this match was going to be over that quick. Wouldn't have been mad about it because it all made sense, but no. They did let us have a really good, solid match. These two brought it. Escobar looking good against one Kevin Owens. The back and forth, they really tried to sell that story that Santos might win this match, but we all kind of knew what they were building to. Eventually, Owens hits that stunner and gets the 1, 2, 3. This match went 16 minutes, 51 seconds. A really good, solid match. It's what you expected, but damn, it was a good match, and I'm glad Santos... I wouldn't have been mad if they would have beat Santos in those first few seconds, because you could have done storylines out of that. It wouldn't have hurt him. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, Santos is buried. Here after Kevin Owens in the 8 seconds. No, he would have been fine because it made sense for that moment. They would have had enough to build from there. And Santos wasn't going to be the guy anyways. But the other side of this and what they gave us was a really good match. It's hard. I mean, there's, it was good. It was solid. It was everything you wanted. And now Kevin Owens is going to get Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this match? Santos Escobar, Kevin Owens, the finals for the number 1 contendership for the U.S. title for Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. Your thoughts?
Some people actually, we see a lot of silly distractions that people, or that wrestlers, get distracted off of, and it's like, oh, that's perfectly fine. Something that actually would have made sense had it happened. Like you, I wouldn't have been mad either had it been a shorter match. But I'm absolutely thrilled with what we actually got.
Oh, yeah. No, I would...
It speaks for itself, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why it's so hard to really say much about it, because if you watch the match, you know what it was, and it was an excellent, excellent match between these guys. They blew it out of the park for what was the finals, and Santos Escobar got to look good. But again, yeah, if they would have given that match like they had you on the edge of the seat that Kevin Owens was going to win in those first few moments, it would have been fine because they had the right story with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro coming out and chasing off Humberto and Angel and interfering in that way, distracting Santos. At least it would have started that feud with the LDL, or continue to feed that feud with the LWO and the storyline that we know Santos will be shifting to. But, we got a beautiful match that was, a better story. So I'm glad we got that. I really thought it was going to be a quick pin. That would have been just fine. Yes, it would have, Mr. Z. Anyways, post-match, Logan Paul's on the mic, and he provides a sarcastic congratulations and mocks the physique of Kevin Owens and brings up that Logan hasn't broken a sweat while defending his title for 62 days because he hasn't even had a single match, by the way. And how can Kevin Owens win? He's Canadian. This is the U.S. title. He then mocks the Canucks because they're in Vancouver tonight. And Logan gets face-to-face with Owens, who just clobbers him with the fist. Logan Paul goes crashing to the mat in a great segment here, getting that feud continued. They've already kind of set that feud up, but great moment between the interaction of Logan Paul and Kevin Owens. From there, we're going to brief highlight of Randy Orton, GP, exactly, to hype up our presumptive main event. And then we have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits headed to the ring. They're in their suits. They're getting all ready. They have some talking time. Right after this break. Of course, we go to a break there. But the announcing talking about Bobby Lashley looking good. The Street Profits all dappered. And so we get them. We get them in the ring. Then we go to commercial break. When we come back from the commercial break, we get reminded that Money in the Bank is going to be in Toronto this year. We're in Vancouver. We're on the western end of Canada. This will be over on the eastern end of Canada. But we're going to see Money in the Bank in Toronto. Also, the NXT special will be on that Sunday. And then we have SmackDown and Raw. So it's 4 nights at WWE in the beautiful city of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In the back, Logan Paul is walking with ice on his face. He runs... He gets asked by Kathy about his match with Owens, but here's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller to make things worse. And then Cameron Grimes comes walking up and goes, "You met Kevin, it's good," and starts laughing at them. Anyways, Waller talks about we need to get him to the training room, and they walk off in this moment. So we're building something there. We have to see what they're going to do with Cameron Grimes, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, Logan Paul. Should be interesting. Maybe we're going to get Cameron Grimes and Kevin Owens in a tag team match in the next couple of weeks before we get into the Rumble. We shall see. Now we're back in the ring, and everyone has the mic, and Bobby welcomes everyone to the show. 30 minutes into it, Bobby says 2023 was rough for him, not because he didn't work, but because work didn't give him the results he wanted. The Street Profits are here. Everybody hyping up one another. They're basically talking about the fact that the Street Profits want... Judgment Day, they want that tag team gold. Bobby Lashley wants world championship material. He wants to show the world why he is almighty, and he declares himself the next entrant into the Royal Rumble for 2024. And then the lights cut out. This was staged a little off. I think the Street Profits and Lashley kept giving it away. They kept kind of stopping and looking at the entranceway. I don't know if the timing was off or what was going on here, but there was a brief moment where you just knew something was kind of going down because they kind of looked away. Before it all clicked in, they just, I don't know, I guess they were trying to, they missed the cue somewhere. Something just didn't work exactly how it was. But regardless, it was fine because the recovery of what happened afterwards. Either way, the lights go out. We get Karrion Kross, Scarlett, a new video package on the screen. We get the music, Kross and Scarlett walking out. Kross looking even bigger than he's looked in a while. He walks out first. Scarlett walks out and kneels in front of him facing the ring. And then Paul Ellering steps around from behind the shadow of Karrion Kross. And we get Paul Ellering, which sends Corey Graves into a frenzy. And of course, if you know, Paul Ellering was last connected to one tag team who appears in the ring, attacking both the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Yes, finally, ladies and gentlemen, after all the speculation, after all the talk, the authors of pain are back. Icam and Razor, they attack the Street Profits. They talk Lashley. Karrion Kross eventually gets in and beats up on Lashley. He picks Lashley up into a pump handle. Then a pump handle into a power slam where he sets him on his shoulder into a weird F5 DDT move. Like, this man put 3 moves together to make one move. It was he went for a pump handle slam up on the shoulder into what I thought he was going to hit him with some type of power slam, and then he threw him in like an F5. Since AEW can't say F5 on TV, we'll say F5 here. Threw him into like an F5 that ended in a DDT. Looked like a damn good move. I'm not crapping on the move. It was just, I didn't know what he was going for, because you get a pump handle slam, that's one thing. You get up on the shoulder, you're looking for a power slam, and then when he threw him, you're just kind of like, okay, I didn't know what to expect there, but there was a couple things there. But this was a good, solid segment. I can't wait to see what they really do with Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain and this new stable, this new group. I'm glad they're going to feud with Bobby and the Street Profits, because this is going to give all 6 of these guys something to do. Probably what we're going to see all 6 of these lead to, hopefully, what'll be a big WrestleMania blow-off match. But I'm excited because this gets Karrion Kross back in the water with the Authors of Pain. Karrion Kross looks really good. Looks bigger than he's looked in a little bit. He needs to get rid of the short ponytail. It doesn't work for him. Bald head or short hair works for him better. Maybe if he grew out his hair and just had it long, the ponytail throws it off for what I feel like you should feel like this is just badass, but I see this little ponytail in the back and I'm just like, nah, doesn't work for me. Razor and Akim, the Authors of Pain, looked excellent in their comeback. Can't wait to see what happens. Mr. Clarke, what were your thoughts on this moment? Did you pop? Kind of hard, I know, because we all expected, we knew what was coming, but tell us your thoughts.
Well, the moment you saw Paul Ellering, you knew what was happening. You had to, unless you've not been watching NXT, unless you have no idea who the Authors of Pain are. Like, you knew Karrion Kross and Charlotte coming out was one. Scarlett coming out was one thing. But the moment you saw Paul Ellering, you knew exactly what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did pop. And yes,
good.
I'm glad they're finally giving Karrion Kross something to do that should be better than, well, hell, everything else he's done on the main roster thus far, really. Because now this comes with the caveat knowing that what he can do. As I used, I still am a TNA fan. When I've seen his work at other places is my point. So I got to see a bit of his work in NXT. So just having that background as a longer time fan compared to maybe those who are just seeing him now, I'm very excited. These 2 stables, you're finally giving purpose to Bobby Lashley and the Profits.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have so much, like, you can, every wrestler's gonna come out and say, I want the title. We want power and dominance and blah blah blah. Now show us, and this is how they're gonna start showing us.
Yep. Hi. Don't look at me in that tone. Cinder has joined the party, in case anybody wanted to know. Anyways, we get a hype video package of AJ Styles, his new look, the Lone Wolf AJ Styles look that we haven't seen in a while. And then Misha makes her own entrance, or has her own entrance music, and heads to the ring before the break. In the ring, we get a recap of the holiday gimmick match from 2 weeks ago with Misha pinning Io Sky to earn this title shot. After that, Io Sky heads to the ring with damage control, but the group stays on the ramp and lets Io head down alone. And we get Mission versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. A good solid match here. Great back and forth. We all kind of knew what was going to happen in the end. It shouldn't be a big surprise at all to anybody if you knew what was going on here. We get a meteor on the floor from Io, and then one in the ring to set up the moonsault, and Io retains. This match went 10 minutes, 20 seconds. A good solid match. Mission got to look good in this, but we got Io Sky. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this goes. Io Bailey is probably the future. A lot of speculation on what's going to happen with either one. Mercedes Moné, also known as Sasha Banks. Is she coming back to WWE? Is she signed with AEW? Depending on where she falls in the bidding war of 2024, we'll decide how a lot of things are going to play off. Is it going to be Bailey and Sasha teaming up to take on Damage Control? Are we going to see Bailey going against Io Sky for this title? Are we going to get Bailey winning this title and maybe Sasha Banks return at WrestleMania to confront Bailey? A lot of questions. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But this was a good, solid match. Gave both these girls a nice showcase. And you can't be really that mad about it. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I thought the best part about this match was the fact that Damage Control didn't come down to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, the story previously was about Damage Control as a group. So, of course, you expected them to come down. But we haven't seen a lot of shine solo for Io Sky. Like, she's been in matches. She's just kind of defending the title here and there. But there's always been the group. We finally got to see her as a solo act just to get herself over. and I was very happy about that.
All right. Good solid match. Anyways, from there, we are in the back with Paul Heyman, and we're going to get the response. We're going to get the acknowledgement. We're going to get the talk. We're going to get the answer that you didn't know you wanted by the one that can do it the best, and that is Paul Heyman, the wise man. And he says, The Rock wants to sit at the head of the table. Nah, 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 nah. You have to be invited to sit at this table, Mr. Rock. The Rock hasn't been invited, and he won't be invited, as Paul Heyman tells us. Rock is like everybody else, trying to take shortcuts. Roman wins matches. Roman wins a match. Out comes John Cena. Out comes Brock Lesnar. Out comes Cody Rhodes. Is talking about trying to finish his story. CM Punk returns after 10 years and says he's an original OG Paul Heyman guy, which is true. And tonight, 3-minute fight to see who gets to wrestle Roman at the Rumble. But Roman will smash whoever gets to the ring with him at the Rumble at WrestleMania. But there's not one man on the face of this planet that can beat Roman. Paul Heyman is still really good at this. And, he does what he needs to. A good solid promo here, getting the story over. Gonna continue this feud. We're gonna get Rock and Roman somewhere in here. Most likely, I would have to say the safe bet's probably gonna be Elimination Chamber at Perth, Australia. It's the best of the make sense because they're not. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna lead you down a road. Roman's not gonna lose the title at Rumble. He's gonna face Cody at WrestleMania. I mean, he could. Anything is possible. Anything could happen. But I don't see them changing the story. Roman losing to Cody is the story. If Roman were to lose the title to the other aspect, if Roman was to lose the title to Randy, and then Cody would face Randy, I don't think it's the same pop. The Randy story, the only way the really Randy Cody story works is Randy turning on Cody. Randy winning the title and then Cody winning the Rumble to get a shot at Randy, or winning the Elimination Chamber to get a shot at Randy. It's great, but it doesn't fit. Cody winning that title, and then the next night at WrestleMania, the next night on Monday Night Raw, Randy comes out to congratulate him and then hit him with an RKO in the middle of the ring and launch that story is so much far better. And then we have the summer of Randy and Cody where we get some great matches from them. So, where we're going to get Roman and The Rock, we see it teasing. We'll have to see how they do the next step in this storyline. Because obviously there's got to be an invite. There's going to be some play to this. We're going to have to wait and see. Pretty Deadly head to the ring. They'll be taking on Butch and a mystery partner after the break. After break, we come back and Io walks with her belt in the back, and the rest of Damage Control show up to celebrate with her. Bayley talks about the vision for all of them getting gold. Asuka and Kairi going for the tag team gold, and Bayley's planning to win the Rumble. And this is when Bianca Belair shows up and congratulates Io on her match, but Orange Bayley and Belair is in the Rumble as well. So we know Bayley, Becky Lynch, and now Belair are all going to be in the Women's Rumble. As we know, the Men's Rumble is Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Lashley so far. Belair walks off, and Dakota and Io tell Bayley that she needs to take care of Belair. Alrighty, back here in the ring, we got Butch, who badly needs his own theme music. Yes, this is true. Butch needs his own name back. Butch hangs out on the entrance, and this brings out Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate making his main roster debut. And we get Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson versus Butch and Tyler Bate. And we get what you expect between these two. You have Pretty Deadly doing their thing, and you have Butch and Tyler Bate. Butch is always great. And Tyler Bate is a great talent. Glad to see him on the main roster. If this is a long-term thing or a one-night thing, it's good. And it's a good solid match. This went 7 minutes, 51 seconds. Butch and Tyler Bate pick up the win. And of course, unfortunately, yes, what this commentator says is that the crowd wasn't very familiar with Bate. If you don't want NXT, then yes, I get that. But Tyler Bate's a great talent, and he's going to bring a lot to the future if he's going to be on the main roster or if this is a one-time show up. Your thoughts on Pretty Deadly versus Butch and Tyler Bate? The man of the bus from Mustache Mountain, yes.
Isn't the problem with having ADD, folks? Sometimes the smallest thing can get you off track. What I was saying though was, overall, I like Pretty Deadly as an act.
Yes.
Love Pete Dunne. Excuse me. But Tyler Bate has been a favorite if you've been following his career from NXT UK into NXT. You can see that he's been treated very well.
Yes.
So having Butch and Tyler Bate tag again is a fun little misadventure, and like you said, see if it happens, if it's long term or if it's just tonight.
Yep, we will see. Anyways, we're gonna hype package for LA Knight. We're gonna get him over for the big match as we've gotten the other 2 stars, but we get LA Knight. Exactly. Doing his hype package. From there in the back, we see Nick Aldis with Ashante the Adonis. Wow. Who knew he was still around and finally possibly found his way out of the catering tables in front of Nick Aldis. Adonis doesn't know what his place is here, but he's hungry with opportunity. Aldis doesn't feel sorry for him, but does believe in him and has an idea for him. So we get next week's announcements. Next week on SmackDown, we're going to build this card. We're going to make it really good. We're going to bring you back for next week. WWE teaching some people how you do a show. You've got to serve up a platter and say, here's what we're going to give you next week if you come back. We're going to get Bianca Belair and Bayley. We may have seen it, but we're in a different era, so we'll have to see what plays out and how this all goes down. We also got Cameron Grimes going to take on Grayson Waller. It's going to be good to see these 2 younger talents come over, see what they can do. Hopefully Cameron Grimes gets to be used more. Cameron Grimes is a great talent. He's a great performer. If you don't know, go watch him in TNA as Trevor Lee, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So there's a lot of talent there. They just got to let him shine. He did shine a lot in NXT. I'm glad to see Cameron Grimes. Grayson Waller is going to be a great thing. And, of course, we're going to get Angel and Humberto, the LWO versus the LWO. That's commentator wrote. Plus, Angel and Humberto will beat up the LWO Job Squad to establish themselves once again on the main roster. Thank you for being, a biased writer there. Anyways, we're going to get Santos Escobar's boys versus the LWO. Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild. Anyways, it's time for the main event, and we got like a good 30 minutes plus left over the show, so this was exciting to see that we're going to get the guys in the ring. They all come out, and we get a damn good match, back and forth, move after move, finisher near falls. We got RKOs getting out of. We had one point where LA Knight hit the BFT on Randy Orton for the 1, 2. That ref's hand was about to come down, and out of nowhere, AJ Styles jumps up, grabs the hand of the ref, and stops him from counting it. Of course, we had Little Nate in the ring, Charles Robinson, doing the refereeing here. Anyways, then later on, I think, who was it? Randy hit the RKO or AJ hit something, and LA Knight, I think it was AJ was on top of Randy, and the ref was counting 1, 2, 3. It would have been over, but then LA Knight pulled the ref out of the ring. This match was just good, solid. You had moments that you didn't know was going to win until it all came crashing down. The music hits, and the Tribal Chief comes out with a whole bloodline here, and they just get in the ring, and they start beating down everybody. LA Knight gets busted open in this moment. We know that he gets speared. I think Randy Orton gets a spear and a solo spike at the same time. And it was just vicious, and we continue brawling. Solo tosses Knight out of the ring and gets the ring steps, and Jimmy tosses Randy into them. We get chaos, pure chaos. And of course, the whole time, Nick Aldis has been standing at ringside near the announce table watching this unfold. He came out earlier to watch this whole match. And as the Wise Man is walking around the ring, Nick Aldis touches him, and of course, Paul Heyman's like, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!" And Nick Aldis gets his attention and finally goes, "Well, when your boy's done celebrating, let him know he's just earned himself a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble with all 3 men in the ring." So we set up for a massive fatal 4-way match, which we haven't had a real massive fatal 4-way match in a long, long time. But we're going to get a 4-way dance for the undisputed Super Universal whatever championship belts. Anyways, so Roman's going to have to defend his titles against AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. So it's not just going to be him and Randy one-on-one. Now it's going to be 4. The deck is really stacked against Roman because anybody can get pinned and he can lose that title. It's going to be interesting how they play this out, making the Rumble feel just that much more important, at least to me, because now you're kind of like, is Orton going to lose that? I mean, is Roman going to lose that title in some weird way? Is somebody else going to get pinned? I don't think so. I think, Roman will come out somehow in some way, in some form. He will come out and top. Maybe they introduce a new bloodline member by the end of the night. Maybe, who knows? Of course, Roman could be standing tall at the end of the night of Royal Rumble, and we could see The Rock show up, setting up things for possibly Perth. A lot of things are going to go into this. It's going to get really interesting. And it's making everything worthwhile. Now you want to come back and watch SmackDown next week because you want to see what's going to happen. You got to see how Roman's going to react to Nick Aldis' statement. And we know that Paul Heyman was not very pleased and knew that he was going to have to tell the tribal chief some very, very bad news. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this match, how it all played out, what we got going forward, and what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm actually very glad with the results, to be honest. Because how do you put, when you have Randy Orton, when you have LA Knight, when you have AJ Styles, how do you really choose between the three? It's like, and put a pecking order on who should be the next number one contender.
Mm-hmm.
Why choose? Give it. Let them all have a shot at it.
No, exactly. I mean, it's hard to say. You look at these three guys, you go, Randy just came back from major surgery, was out for 18 months. We didn't even know if he was going to come back at times, the reports that were coming out. So he's freshly back. You really don't want to see him not get the chance. AJ Styles just came back from whatever injury he was on, looking like a beast Styles. The Lone Wolf, beast style, AJ Styles. He looks badass. Can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. And of course, LA Knight, he's here. He's in the main event. They're trying to keep him a hot flavor. We'll have to see how it plays out with him and how he goes. But yes, no, I think giving us a 4-way is going to make Roman just feel a little bit stronger when he comes out winning that, because it's the only thing that makes sense. Because even though that people were telling me that Cody and Randy are going to face for the title now at WrestleMania, it's not the story, and it doesn't make sense. Why would you want Randy and Cody in this story when you can get Randy turning on Cody after WrestleMania, after Cody's won the title? Mm-hmm. Randy can do his heel thing. Could be like, hey, come out, congratulate him, and then RKO him, and off we go to the races. We're going to get a summer of Randy and Cody, and I think that is far better than trying to give Randy a title now and then have Randy carry the title at WrestleMania to drop it to Cody. It's just, not that Randy can't do it. It just doesn't have that same, it's not going to feel that special. You're going to have Randy versus Cody night 1, and Cody's going to finish his story, and then Seth Rollins and CM Punk would be night 2. In that scenario, at least for me, because then you'd be looking at Seth and CM Punk's story being way more important.
Let's see.
Yes. Anyways, so it looks interesting. We're definitely building up. We're going to have to see where The Rock comes into the future of all of this. We know we're getting teased here. What is the actual thing? I think they're going to leave it hanging out there, dangling like a bad carrot. So, I mean, a lot of people are jumping on the ship that we're going to get Randy winning at the Rumble, Cody winning the Rumble, Cody and Randy at WrestleMania, Seth and CM Punk will somehow get there, and then we'll get The Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Even though it's WrestleMania, that's going to be hard to... I mean, I think Randy and Cody, even in that situation, again, I think you're hurting Cody because a CM Punk Seth Rollins match would outshine a Cody Randy story right now. Not because Randy and Cody don't deserve it, not because Randy and Cody aren't good. It's just I don't feel when you put Randy and Cody for the Universal title on the WrestleMania card, and then you put Rock and Roman on the WrestleMania card, and you put CM Punk and Seth Rollins on the WrestleMania card, I think Randy and Cody lose a bit of that shine, which hurts Cody's story in the long run because it doesn't feel as important. It doesn't have that big caliber moment. Not that a Cody Randy story can't be a WrestleMania-esque match. I just don't think you can run it in from the end of Rumble into the beginning of April. You've got like 2 months to kind of make it. WWE's good, but I just don't know if it's going to be the right story when you have Roman and Cody come back part 2. You can have so many aspects to it. It's going to be interesting. What a time to be a wrestling fan. You don't know what's going to happen, nor what is really who's going to really win the Rumble. And you're actually absolutely right if you're a WWE fan. Now, if you're an AEW fan, it's questionable. Of course, I guess if you're also a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, you're like loving wrestling right now too. So can't knock that because I guess New Japan Pro Wrestling and all the talent over there showed Tony Khan how it's supposed to be done. Also, if you're going to do a pure wrestling show. But anywho, I just don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts if we did Randy and Cody at WrestleMania with Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania with CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
We had so much passion for Cody and Roman round 1 that we were devastated when Roman went over. So in a lot of our minds, including my own, like, you have to do this part 2 and you have to do it right, or else personally I may just I don't know, I might rage quit WWE. I'm not sure, because that's how much I want to see Cody finish the story the way it's been built.
Yeah.
So if you insert Randy into this storyline somewhere, it's just like, yes, there's history. Yes, you can circle back to a Cody Randy story, but not before Cody finishes the already built story.
I'm just worried it would be out if you gave me Randy Cody at WrestleMania, which would be a fine story. These two would give us a good match. I just feel it would be outshined if you're going to put Rock and Roman on there, and then CM Punk and Seth Rollins would outshine it. And it's sad because Cody's story at the end of the night of night 2 at WrestleMania, Cody needs to be standing there tall and proud with that belt, get that moment, and pay respects to his daddy, and do it. And then we can go from Cody. And then Cody and Randy can be the summer. I'd be perfectly fine. It would make sense. Randy turning on Cody is going to be a better story because it's so inevitable in that situation. They already have the history. They already have the past. And then Randy's going to want that belt, and you can have Randy be mad that Cody's the one that beat Roman, and he didn't get to beat Roman. He can be mad that Cody got the belt, that Cody's become a bigger star than Randy. I mean, there's so many great things. But to do it now, to have Roman drop the belt at Rumble in a lackluster 4-way dance, you're losing that moment that even if it wasn't Cody, anybody beating Roman one-on-one is going to get such a huge rub from that moment that you're not going to get that same rub in a 4-way dance because you're not going to pin Roman. That's exactly what a 4-way dance, if they do it, Roman's not going to take the pin, so Roman wouldn't get pinned. And then at least, I mean, I get they're trying to make a non-title match between The Rock Roman, because if it's a title match between Rock Roman, you're like, oh, Roman's going to beat The Rock. And that's fine. And I think if you do Roman wins the Rumble, Rock Roman at Perth, Australia, it doesn't even have to be for the title. Don't really care. Roman could still beat The Rock, and that gives Cody much more momentum. And if you're worried about that, get Roman to WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania, you can go to SummerSlam, you can go to the Bash in Berlin, you can go to Backlash, which you're doing in France. I mean, you have all these other countries you're going to where you can have these special big moments that you're not going to have, where The Rock can finally beat The Rock. Roman can go, and you could have The Rock maybe beat Roman. After he's collapsed for Cody, this is his last challenge. And that's the other thing. I think Roman Rock is better after Roman loses the title, because that gives Roman more incentive to go after The Rock. Like, I've been world champion. I was on God mode. I may have lost the title, and it's all because because Rock is, my cousin. He's the thing that, And I think, again, I will go back. WrestleMania 40, night 2, Roman versus Cody, Hell in a Cell, The Rock, special guest referee. And then you can start to build that story throughout the summer. Or you could even you could build that story into next year's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 41, you could have Roman versus The Rock. And you could build that for a whole year. Because you could have Roman, after he loses the title, going, it's my cousin's fault. It's The Rock. The Rock's the only thing that's keeping me from being God. And, then you could have Roman challenging The Rock all the way through. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they're probably going to pull the trigger for Elimination Chamber. I know it's a WrestleMania caliber match. I get that, people. I get why people say it's a WrestleMania caliber match, Roman versus Rock. Totally makes sense. It's not this year.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Your final thoughts on SmackDown tonight?
Good, solid show. it was a TV show, so I'm still kind of on the high of Wrestle Kingdom a little bit. And at some point, I might watch New Year's Dash, see what Miguel's already seen.
Yes,
But
yes.
for tonight, it was a good show. No complaints. That's kind of next thing is Raw. The first
Yes.
WWE
Well,
show.
the next show will be here for a review show. Will be Monday Night Raw, which is going to
Well,
be.
no, I was talking about next WWE show as far as continuing.
No, I know. I'm following you.
Okay.
You gotta let me finish. The next Raw, the next review show, because the show that comes on Sunday is not necessarily a review show of a show. It's a roundup. It's a review of everything that's gone on in the week. Anyways, next show will be Raw. Wrestling wise, we'll be watching Monday Night Raw. We know CM Punk's going to be there. A lot of stuff is going to be going on that night, so that'll be a great build. We're getting closer to the Rumble. Like I said, we hear the engine starting. We're warming up that beautiful car. We're getting ready to jump in it, get on the road to WrestleMania. We have a quick stop at Perth. How we're going to drive to Perth, Australia, I don't know. It'll be magic. Join us on that one. Of course, there's no more wrestling because we don't cover Collision right now. If it gets better, maybe someday we'll get back into that. But and of course, Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is the weekly rebound. We are the weekly roundup. God. Rebound roundup. Anyways, it's a weekly roundup for the value of wrestling. Me, Mr. Clarke, and of course Miguel Z, our new Japan Pro Wrestling expert, will be here in breaking down everything that went on this week in professional wrestling, from AEW to WWE to New Japan Pro Wrestling and all the other news in between. Probably a little bit of talking Mercedes Moné, probably talking about Nick Nemeth and his appearance. Matt Riddle breaking news across the world, trying to make himself feel important or look important. Hopefully he does it. There's some talent there, but just the WWE way didn't work out. And of course, he made himself look like a dumbass walking out the door. Regardless, you put yourself in that position to get released and look stupid. Nobody else to blame but yourself, sir. And of course, we can talk about Mr. NDA a little bit. What's going on with that? We'll break that down. Chris Jericho opens mouth, inserts foot. Jericho's cruise is going on. So a lot to cover on the weekly roundup. On Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the Value Wrestling. So make sure you ring that bell for notifications so you know what's going on. We will be here live when the Rumble hits. We'll be doing a live review of the Rumble. We have to wait and see what's going on with TNA. TNA shaking up the news. When worlds collide, you'll never know who's showing up. Hard to Kill, January 13th. TNA Plus is now back on the air under the Endeavor umbrella. Premium live events happening. Hard to Kill going to be the first one. We're still talking. Maybe some of us will watch it and do a review show on it because it's going to be a big deal. Hopefully, it looks like a really good card. TNA is coming into 2024, trying to blow the door off and say, hey, we're here too. We're not just a cockroach that never dies anymore. So hopefully Tony Khan takes note of that too. So a lot of stuff coming in. SmackDown, everything in wrestling is really good right now, other than maybe AEW kind of lost in the sauce. We'll have to see if they can rebound. I know a lot of people liked this show this week and thought it was a great way to start off the new year. A lot of people thought that the devil thing went off without it was perfect, and I'm kind of like, nah. I feel like we're
review on that. You can go back in.
You can go back to Wednesday night and watch that live. That's all on the channel. There's plenty of things on the channel. There's my big time rants and other things that are going to fill in. And of course, starting Tuesday, Mr. Z has a great opportunity to tell us everything that happened on the New Year's Dash.
Yes.
The New Japan Pro Wrestling New Year's Dash. He could break that all down for you on Tuesday. I don't know what he's going to do on Tuesday, but he will be presenting his first inaugural episode of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound on YouTube. If you don't know, he's already got it over on Spotify. So if you're looking for some New Japan Pro Wrestling, go over to Spotify, check out Miguel Z with the Value Wrestling New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound on Spotify as a podcast. And then he's going to start doing that over here. He'll have it on Spotify, but he's also going to bring it to the YouTube page. We'll have him up live on air every Tuesday with New Japan Pro Wrestling news. Other than that, I think we've covered everything. We beat the door down I think we're doing great there. We appreciate each and every one of you being here. We appreciate you if you're watching this later after the show. We thank you for coming and taking time out of your day, evening, or whatever it may be to watch us. Go ahead and drop your comments in the comments below. Tell us your opinion. If we got something right, if we got something wrong, perfectly fine. Share your thoughts. We always welcome them. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got our goal for 1,000 before the year's up. Hopefully sooner than later, so we can charge into other things. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family. We are going to be, we are not pretenders. We are going to be contenders, and you can believe that. That's Mr. Paulus, Clarke, the one and only. I'm the big time. We thank you for being here. This has been the Value Wrestling. This has been your Smackdown review for January 5th, 2024. We will see you on the next one. We are going to get out of here. We're going to say goodnight. Faradieu, so long.
Swagger down the street with your red